G'day Bodgies and Widgies and welcome back to the channel. I know things might look a little bit different in terms of the video quality. It's because we are back on the GoPro. However, I really hope you guys don't mind. I'm just experiencing some slight issues with my current Sony camera, trying to get some things fixed out with it. So I hope it's okay if we continue back on the GoPro. However, today is the long-awaited update of my native Australian lungfish aquarium. It's been exactly a month since I've had this little guy and he's been doing really good. So I want to bring you full circle about how he's doing, what he's eating, everything of that sort, and really get you well versed with this amazing fish that I have. Before we get into the video though, I want to thank the traditional custodians of the land I'm filming on, the land that you guys are watching this video on, and also the really amazing people that are managing our land at the moment, like our councils, park rangers, police. You know who they are. A massive thank you to them, and a huge thank you to you for watching this video. So without further ado, let's have a look at this lungfish aquarium. Okay, so to quickly bring you up to speed with the aquarium, for those of you that are new here, this is a 4-foot aquarium. It's considered to be a shallow tank because it's 4 feet long, 2 feet wide, but only about a foot tall. So it's a really great tank, I think, to be using as a grow out for this lungfish because of the very shallow depth, meaning that if this guy does need to come up to the surface to breathe, he can do so. However, I don't really see that happening because the water is well oxygenated. He doesn't have any need to come up to the surface. However, it is a really cool behavior that lungfish are capable of. And speaking of lungfish, in this tank, I have one native Australian lungfish, possibly and quite easily one of the most rarest to acquire aquarium species in Australia and quite possibly the world as well. And it's a really amazing fish that I am able to own. Right above the tank, you'll see a little sort of like black square. That's actually the certificate that came with this lungfish. And if you haven't seen the actual video where I got this little guy, then make sure that you do watch that, and I'll have it linked up in one of these corners. The other thing I wanted to mention is that I've had this guy, like exactly for a month now. So I got him on the 17th of March, 2021, and the day I'm filming this is the 17th of April 2021. So I've had him for exactly about a month. He's a very secretive fish. I see him mostly at night is when he sort of comes out and swims about, but it's very rare that he comes out during the lights are on, and I have noticed him swim quite a fair bit outside. However, it's it's a lucky day when you see that. However, just to be able to own one of these fish and to really be able to capture and log the growth and the behavior of this fish is really cool. So he's about 12 to 15 centimeters. I haven't exactly measured him, but he's in between that range, and I purchased him from livefish.com.au. Really got to say, one of my favorite online aquarium stores. A lot of the fish that I own now are from livefish.com.au, so I just wanted to give them a big shout out as well. When we look at the way that this tank is set up for this little guy, I wanted to make sure that floor space was big. Like, it had to, I didn't want any obstructions. I didn't want him to get injured on anything. So he's got quite a big sand bed to explore at night if he needs to. The back wall is sort of where he can go ahead and hide. This corner on the right that you can see, in there is sort of like this hedge, I guess, of Hygrophila polysperma. That's probably his second favorite spot to hide out in, and he just goes behind those plants and ducks there, and he spends most of his day there. The other spot is actually on this corner here, where you'll notice this big piece of Malaysian bogwood. On there I've got a ton of epiphyte plants, some mosses, some ferns, all of that, and underneath that is where he hides. So I've got, I've taken his behavior into consideration. He's got his hiding spaces where he spends most of his day, and then he's got his, open space at night if he wants to explore and swim around, which he does do quite a fair bit at night. However, it's just really difficult to be able to capture that because it's pitch black. But other than that, when we look at the tank mates, this is where things start to get a little bit interesting. Now with this tank and basically most of the fish I'm keeping, I am slowly starting to transition to keeping predominantly native Australian fish species. The 5-foot aquarium is going through a slight makeover. I won't reveal too much, but in this tank, you'll notice these very long, sort of large looking fish in the back of the tank. And they are a very recent addition that I added to this aquarium, and they are in fact the common Galaxia. I believe their scientific name is Galaxia maculatus, and the native Australian Galaxia is a very, very underrated species. They were widespread throughout, my area, which is Victoria. And you can find them, all the way from Victoria to like the tip of Queensland. Very widespread species. However, with the introduction of introduced species, things like carp, predatory fish like redfin, and also very just annoying species, I guess, like the mosquito fish, so the gambusia that we now find quite predominantly in our waterways. It's actually taken a massive toll on the Galaxia populations. I was able to get 20, I believe there's actually 21, but we'll call it 20. I was able to get 20 of these common Galaxias from a local breeder, and he's doing some really, really amazing work breeding these fish. And if you're wanting to pick up Galaxias as well for yourself, I will have his link to the ad in the description down below. Highly recommend it, because the more we can keep some of these native Australian fish, the better that our sort of aquarium map gets out there in the world. But these Galaxias were a really, really amazing price. They're all really big as well, and they're eating readily some prepared aquarium food. So I'm just feeding them some pellets and flakes. They're taking very well. The only thing I have learnt with them is that they are a very skittish fish, so they are jumping quite a fair bit, which is why I've got this lid on the tank. But going back to the lungfish, that's what we're here to see. The lungfish, I'm referring to him as Neo because their scientific name is Neoceratodus forsteri, and Neo just seems like a fitting name. Plus, it's apparently some dude from The Matrix. I haven't seen that movie, yes, but yeah. So Neo is what I'm leaning towards. However, if you have any names for the lungfish, let me know in the description in the comment section down below, because yeah, you get the privilege of naming one of the coolest species in the aquarium trade. So let me know if you have any names. But he is eating basically everything and anything that I offer him. So far, he's eating a mixture of frozen foods. So I'm giving him brine shrimp, mysis shrimp, bloodworms, blackworms. I'm also giving him shrimp, so like chopped up prawns, basically. We call them prawns in Australia, not shrimp. But we are giving him some prawns. So I'm just giving, this is sort of like every 3-4 days once that I give him like half a prawn. I just break it up into smaller pieces and scatter it around the tank, sort of when the lights go out, and he goes ahead and forages for it. From there, I also do give him predominantly pellets, so I'm giving him extreme community peewee. It's a very well-rounded pelletized food, so I'm really happy with that, and he is eating them really good. The only thing is that he's a very, very slow eater, so the fish I add in this aquarium, I need to make sure that they don't outcompete him, so that's a big thing. The other thing which came to my surprise is that he absolutely demolishes snails. He eats snails like crazy. In this tank, I have about 1,000, I'd say, to be honest, Malaysian trumpet snails, some ram's horns as well. But every day on a constant basis, I see like a stockpile of Malaysian trumpet snail shells, which have been like crushed or sucked clean out of the shell. And I also see occasional ram's horn snails, which have been like crunched up, and it's just fragments of shell. I've got no other snail eaters in this tank except for the lungfish, and in their native range, they are feeding on snails, small glass shrimp and crustaceans that they can find. So it's really cool and really surprising to be able to see that. And if anything, I'm actually running out of snails. So if anyone knows where I can get a bulk amount of like ram's horn snails for a dirt cheap price, please let me know. But yeah, he's doing really, really good. I sort of wanted to make this to give you an update of him. Yes, he's still alive. He's still thriving. He's doing really great. And overall, it's been an absolute joyride to be able to keep this amazing fish. So that was basically it. If you want to see more of these lungfish updates, if there is any sort of specific video that you want to see, please let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, it's just been a really, really enjoyful, it's just been great to keep this fish. So hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, stay happy, stay safe, stay Aussie Australian. Bodgie and the Lungfish out.